It's 9 a.m. I'm at it early this morning at the Dallas Card Show. First one in the door because this show always has the biggest cards, the most incredible grails, and today I'm in the mood to do a really big deal. So let's get to it. All right, this is a good booth to start at this morning. I see a lot of beautiful, beautiful cards all across the dealer booth here. In fact, this guy's laying out some beautiful cards too. Are you guys trying to do a big deal?
We're about to do a big one.
How big is this deal gonna be?
Once you mix in that, it'll be a couple hundred.
Couple $100,000 deal. It's only not, you realize it's only 9 a.m.
I'm ready to go.
This is what I'm talking about, guys. This is the things that you see at the Dallas Card Show. Literally, a deal's about to go down with a couple $100,000 of cards at 9 a.m. on the opening morning of the Dallas Card Show. Absolute insanity. But this means that if there's cards I want, I better get to it because the good ones, they're all going to be taken before we get too far into the day. All right, look at this case. If you like football, there's some stuff in here which you're going to be crazy about. First of all, how about a Tom Brady NFL shield? Tom Brady on a card with Phillip Rivers and Peyton Manning out of 25. I'm sure that's all game used because that's an old card, but the fun doesn't stop there. I mean, they got all kinds of incredible cards. Look at the Josh Allen rookie ticket autos going across the case here. You got a cool Tom Brady autograph. You got a lot of the top guys, right? Like Justin Herbert, rookie downtown. You got a Justin Herbert rookie ticket auto over here as well. Looks like we got another Tom Brady patch auto. Just a lot of beautiful stuff in this showcase. I mean, walking through a show like this, it's like being in a jewelry store. It's incredible. That's what Dallas brings every single time. Man, I can't wait to dig in more. All right, look at this. Kaboom, 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 kaboom. Downtown. And then look at the row above. All downtowns. The row above. All downtowns and kabooms again. That is no surprise that this table is facing the door because when people walk in the show, like this just, you see all that bling and you just kind of gravitate over here. I love to see it. I love all these cards, all these short prints. Tons of good football here, but it looks like we got a lot of basketball as well, which is pretty cool to see. So I'm just taking it all in right now. I'm gonna keep walking around and see what I see because I know there's good stuff all over the show floor. So this is a name that I think is going to be really hot this summer. As I'm thinking about the National, right, which is now just a few months away, football cards are always flying off the shelves of the National. They're so hot. Now's a good time to pick up cards if you're going to the National that you think are going to be hot while you're there. And I really think J.J. McCarthy is going to be a big name at the National this summer. I think there's going to be a lot of buzz about him. I also think there's going to be buzz about Michael Penix Jr. as well, or maybe that's just me because I'm an Atlanta guy. I don't know. Is the buzz for Penix there on a national level? I would like to think so. I'm excited to see him in a starting role for the Falcons this year. I think he can do some really great stuff. So fingers crossed that Penix has a good year. I might have to pick up some Penix today, and I might have to pick up some J.J. McCarthy today because I think those cards will be awesome to trade with people at the National. Look at all this non-sports.
I know it.
You got a bunch of Simpsons cards, Superman.
You know what?
We got a Disney case here.
This is weird. So my best-selling deal is Disney.
Is it?
She's number 2.
Okay.
Number 3, outsells Star Wars, Simpsons.
Really?
I'm serious.
So you got Disney Wizard of Oz. So Disney Wizard of Oz and Simpsons.
Yeah.
Now,
Top 3.
do you see a trend in non-sports cards like these? Like, has this been a growing area for you?
Well, 2 years ago, I couldn't have done this and paid for my tables.
Okay.
So I think all the sports cards have gotten so expensive, it's pulling these up. And some of the cards, look how expensive some of these
Yeah, I love, that's my favorite card in here, the 1931.
Yeah,
That's kind of Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse both on the same card. It's the rookie cards. It's the rookie card. Can I see? It looks like you've got multiple of that here. I've actually always wanted to pick up one of these. This was a cigarette card, right? From 1931?
It was.
Kind of funny that, a cigarette card was Mickey Mouse's debut and Walt Disney's debut. All right, I want to take a look at this Mickey card here in Market Movers because I'd love to get one of these. I'm curious not only like how these have priced out over the years, but also like what the population on these are. It can't be too many.
I will work with you on that price because
Okay.
I've got them kind of priced.
Little
I
high.
don't want to sell them.
Yeah, I understand that.
So,
Yeah, a little high compared to some of the ones I'm seeing here in Market
yeah, they
Movers,
are,
but
I'll come down some.
I appreciate though the fact that you want to hold on to these. I probably want to hold on to them as well. All right, I'm going to scan this now in the PSA app just to look at the population report. I'm just curious. So in a 5, it's a population of 111 with 279 higher. So it's actually, I guess, less of a rare card than you had anticipated being. That means that there's about 400 of them that are graded 5 or above. So they're accessible
400
cards. Right.
How many people are on Earth?
Well, that's true. And how
There's
many?
only
And
400 people that can own that card.
that's true. It's not a big number in the grand scheme of things. It's a big number when it comes to rare cards, but not a big number in the grand scheme of
I
things.
don't know about that. I have a lot of cards like her. There's only been 8 of them graded.
Okay.
I own all 8 of them.
Okay.
I've sent all this stuff in to get graded.
Yep.
And I love that when I can look at it because I dictate the pricing at that point. There's a lot of cards like that I'll send in, and I'm the only one that owns them. I don't know how that works out. Now there's been more graded.
Yeah.
There's probably 20 or something like that. But it's a neat, unique situation to be in, especially on some of the better cards like that.
Look at all these Kobe autos. Goodness gracious. How many Kobe autos do you have in your case here?
Probably 35.
I didn't count them, but I have I think 40 or 50 maybe total.
Just kind of
Also,
dabbled in there.
the cleanest 1952 mantle, the cleanest PSA 4 1952 mantle you'll ever see. I found that when I found it, it was raw. The original owner stuck it in an encyclopedia, put it on his shelf for 30 years, and forgot about it. Horribly undergraded. That should be a PSA 8 OC.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the centering, but
Yeah, the
everything,
centering.
everything other than the centering is
Correct.
truly perfect. I mean, the image quality on it is super sharp. It's vibrant. You can tell it's not been exposed to light. The blue in the background behind mantle pops. It's clean. There's hardly any print defects on the card at all. Often with these mantle cards, you see little print defects. You see some dirtiness to the card, some issues with it.
Also the corners.
The corners are typically bad, and like literally everything except the centering on this card is about as perfect as it can possibly get.
That's why I was really surprised that PSA didn't give it a qualifier. They were instructed to give it a qualifier, and that should have lived as an 8 OC. But instead, because they took the centering into account, they graded it a PSA 4. It's the cleanest PSA 4 in existence.
What's your ask on it?
Asking is $125,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a premium for a 4.
I mean, don't
but
you think the card deserves a premium?
It from the cleanness, definitely
There
so.
was a recent for sale that just sold for $108,000 on RIA,
Okay.
and it was nowhere near as clean,
Yeah.
but better centered.
But centered, yeah. All right, he's putting up a good argument. What do you guys think out there? How would people get in touch with you if they're interested in it?
My Instagram is Bello Verde. There's an underscore after Bello and Verde.
There you go. Look at that. Awesome. Very cool. Thank you for showing it to us.
Thank you very much for taking a look. Yeah, thank you.
That's really cool. That's one of, I believe, only two.
Four.
There's four dual autograph cards. 4 cards. Okay.
There's 4 cards that have Shaq and Kobe's autos on them.
Yeah.
Just Shaq and Kobe's autos.
Yeah.
There's an Immaculate out of 25. There's this National Treasures version. There's a Dominion version, and then there's like some Fleer Skybox.
Okay.
So there's like only a total.
Yeah. So if you want the combo, if you want Shaq and Kobe,
There's like 100 cards.
yeah, they're very hard to find.
100 cards.
So you got 20K on that one. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is the National Treasures out of 15.
National Treasures out of 15. Yeah.
Wow, that's neat. Such a piece of basketball history right there.
Definitely.
I love that Shaq too. I know it's not that valuable of a card, but like super
Listen,
cool.
For what it is, yeah, that was a card when I was growing up. That
Yeah.
was a Shaq rookie.
Yeah, super,
I love
super
that
cool.
blue auto.
I love the blue auto on that. I was gonna say, that's really cool.
Dude, well, the good news about that one is it's not an expensive card.
It's not.
Out of everything that I have here, you'd be doing yourself, keeping the most amount of money in your pocket looking at that one.
You know what, I gotta get that. I gotta get that card. I gotta get that card. I'm gonna buy that card. Let me buy that card off you. That's just too cool. It's probably the cheapest card he's got in the entire case, $200, but like, it's also one of the coolest cards I think in the entire case. It's not rare, but like the blue ink auto on that just pops so much, and that's such an iconic Shaq card, such an iconic Shaq rookie card. And this is from when I was collecting cards as a kid. Like I remember this card when it came out, That was like right at the tail end of me collecting cards as a kid. So I gotta grab it. That's pretty cool. Look at that. I think that's super cool, right? So I love the vintage on-card autos. If you've watched Sports Card Investor, you know I love to pick up a lot of these. I don't have a Roger Maris auto. You know, he's not the most popular player, but he of course had that famous 61st home run record for so long, and that was what really made him relevant for such a long time. And what's particularly cool about this card is it literally is a card depicting his 61st home run, and he signed the card. So if you're gonna pick up a Maris 61st home run, you're a Maris auto really, like picking it up on a 61st home run card, seems like a pretty cool one to have and might fit into my collection. So I'm gonna look at our sales history and market movers here. Yep, so I found one, found the exact card that pretty recently sold on Golden for $976.
That sounds about right.
It was an authentic Auto 9, maybe slightly better. Well, it's interesting, right? So I want to get the audience's opinion on this. What auto do you think is better? Now, here's the question, right? This auto, you could say, well, that's a lot bolder of an auto, so that's the better auto. But there's a lot of vintage autograph collectors that prefer the ballpoint pen autos. And that, you know, this is more of a period auto, right? Like now, everybody signs with Sharpies. But many years ago, people weren't signing with Sharpies, they were signing more often with ballpoint pens. So there's a lot of vintage autograph collectors that will pay a premium for ballpoint pen autos over Sharpie autos. And so when you take that into account, now let me ask you again, which one of those two autos would you rather have? Interesting question. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm going to ask you, what do you think about the two autos? Like, you got one here that obviously shows up a lot better on the card, but then that one that appears to be a ballpoint pen auto.
Right. So I would go for the ballpoint, and I'll tell you why. When I was a kid, I'd get vintage cards signed, and it was an absolute no-no. The dealer's like, don't do it. You're killing the card.
Yes.
You're killing the card. I said, how many of these are out there? But how many of them are signed? And then the guys die off, and they're like, oh, wow, now autographs are popular. I prefer the ballpoint because it makes it of the era when they were still, before it became popular to sign. I will admit, though, all day long, that looks better.
Yeah.
I'd still prefer the ballpoint.
That's the trade-off, right? That's the trade-off. Do you want the bold Sharpie auto, or do you want the ballpoint and it feels a little more historic and vintage, right? All right, we're gonna see what the audience thinks in the YouTube comments.
There you go.
So that one sold on Golden for $976. Similar card, I would definitely say, similar condition card. Looking here in market movers, let's see if I can see any other recent sales of that same one. Then this one sold on eBay for $1,100. Same exact condition, but a slightly better auto, and it was a ballpoint auto. And that one sold on eBay for $1,100. But that one sold late in 2024. So yeah, I was able to find a couple of comps here using market movers. Would you take 900 cash for it?
I'll take $1,000.
Take 1,000 cash for it? All right, that's a buy. I like it. There you go. Very cool. Got a good deal done here and a really cool card to go in my collection. Super excited about that. John, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for doing the deal with me. So that was a really fun vintage auto pickup. And then this next table, look at this. We got a lot of really fun auto cards in here. Look at the Jerry West, the logo rookie card. That's pretty cool. You got a Jim Brown signed rookie card, a Reggie White signed rookie card, Gale Sayers. How about Dan Marino, John Elway, Derek Thomas, and even the captain, Derek Jeter, signing his 1993 select card. That's super cool. And then this one's a classic. Larry Bird, Dr. J, Magic Johnson, all signed on the same card. They sign a lot, so it's not like that's that rare of a card. You can actually, that one in particular, you can actually find pretty easily, but it's still a super cool card to have. I mean, to have all three of those legends signing their own rookie card, that's like an incredible card to lock away. And that's not all. Look, he's got all kinds of stuff here. From Frank Robinson to Ernie Banks to Nolan Ryan signed rookie card. I think this stuff is so cool. This is definitely my type of table. Love to see it. We got a partial rainbow here of Freddie Freeman. That's super cool. Look at that. That's really, really neat. That'd be a cool one to have back in Atlanta, wouldn't it? I mean, I know he's a Dodger now. I know he hit the home run last year and he propelled the Dodgers to the World Series. I get it. But he's still a legend in Atlanta, an absolute legend in Atlanta. We miss him in Atlanta. And there's still a lot of people that love his cards in Atlanta too. And that's pretty cool to have a lot of the rainbow right there out at this dealer table. All right, so Roth Cards over here told me that he had a card that I had to see. Oh man, look at this. It looks like you got two cards I have to see.
You got options.
Oh my gosh, look at this. Wow, those are both beautiful. Both,
Yes.
oh, they're both 10s.
Both 10s.
Wow, what's the pop on these in 10s?
Let me check. This is pop 2.
Okay.
And I believe the gold is pop 1. I will double check.
Man, oh man. Now I gotta tell you guys, the last time that I did a deal with Roth on a big Atlanta Falcons quarterback card, it did not work out in my favor. Definitely did not work out in my favor. Is Penix the guy? Will Penix lead the team to the promised land? Pop one.
The
Man.
only gold prism.
Roth, you're killing me here, man. Those are beautiful cards.
And you know what? I will say this. Desmond Ridder could have turned out. And if it did, then the whole story would flip. You'd be the genius. You would have took the risk on the Ridder and you would have made a lot of money on it. You know what I mean? It goes both ways.
It happens.
This might be the time now.
Oh, this is my redemption moment. This is my redemption moment.
We all love a redemption.
Oh my
moment,
God, it's
sir.
my redemption moment. Thankfully. Wow. You're giving me such a good opportunity. Look at that. I get to redeem myself.
Yes, sir.
Man, you got a lot of nice stuff here.
And, you know, I have
What-
a 9 as well. You know, I mean,
Right.
if you want to go a little lower, I mean, it's up to you. And we also have a Deca.
That's cool too, man. You got a lot of nice stuff.
We do.
That's really cool.
We're really loading up on Jaden.
Yeah, look at this.
I'm excited.
So you got the black,
the black
shimmer,
shimmer.
Jaden. Look at that. Wow. Wow,
We
look
have
at
the
this.
black flashback,
This is incredible.
and we have the black emergent. So, and we have the
A Prismania and a black
the
and a
only
black label.
Prism Jaden card.
That's super cool. How much is the LeBron? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this, Rob. You got to get this.
This one is probably the biggest one in the
Look
show.
at that. That is the LeBron. That is the black Prism 1 of 1 of the LeBron Choctaws
Yep.
from this year's Prism. A design that people are going crazy for because it's, you know, it's the Choctaws and it's
Yep.
reminiscent back to that, you know, 2008 Topps card where he was doing
Absolutely.
the Choctaws. We haven't seen one of those images on one of the premier cards since then.
Yep.
And there you go.
There's a chance that it's last year NBA Prism.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I mean, we know how first and last, you know, they hold relevance in the hobby, you know, so.
It's a cool card too. What are you asking for on that?
That one, we're asking $350,000.
$350,000.
Yep.
That's nice. That is nice. Wow, super cool. Incredible collection. Okay, I'm gonna focus on these.
All right.
I'm gonna focus on Penix here. All right, so we've got PSA 10 Gold Prism for 30, and then a 9 you got at 12.
Yep.
And then, obviously there's no sales on the 10s. What have the 9s been doing?
A jersey number 9 just sold for a little over $14,000.
Okay.
That was on all, and then a non-jersey, I believe I bought one on all as well for, I think it did 9,500-ish. Like
Okay.
95 to 10, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
The jersey number 1 is the most recent.
Right.
So I think that kind of boosted up the non-jersey numbers a little bit.
And then have there been any kaboom? You said there's only one
let's-
other 10, so.
The other 10 didn't sell publicly.
Okay.
So a horizontal, BJ's 9 just sold this month for $8,100.
Okay.
And then the last vertical looks like it was back in February for $8,500.
And a 9?
Raw.
Raw, okay.
5 raw, yep. So I figured about 3X. That's kind of what.
Yeah, I mean,
figured raw
your
was at.
prices are definitely in the ballpark, right? I mean, they're not, I think they're pretty relatively fairly priced, you know, given some of those comps. All right, the question is, am I committing that much to Penix? Am I going to do it again with another Falcons QB? All right, I'm gonna think about this a little
All right.
bit. I'm gonna think about this a little
As
bit.
you walk away,
Yes.
I want the thought in your head to be this. Everyone loves a redemption story.
Yeah, and you know what people don't like? People who make the same mistake twice in a row and don't learn from their mistakes. People don't like that story.
There's time from now until the start of the season as well. So who's to say that it's not worth a little bit more come July at the National and then you trade it up into a bigger Penix or to another quarterback? You never know.
See, I like how this guy thinks. Now I could counter and say, who's to say that he doesn't blow out his ACL in training camp in July? And then it's, well, maybe not
Nobody
worth quite
wants
as
that.
much. Nobody wants that. Nobody needs that. Nobody needs that. All right, let me grab a photo.
Yep.
I'm gonna walk around a little bit, but I'm gonna think about these today. All right, it was a couple of years ago at the Dallas Card Show that Tyler and I did a really fun deal for, that was a Kobe Bryant and Allen Iverson autograph.
Yep.
That was a fun throwback deal that we did, and just bumped into him again here at the Dallas Card Show. He wanted to look at my cards, he just did. I'm gonna go through some of his cards, and maybe there's a big trade to be had here in just a minute. Yeah, you got a pretty wide variety here.
Yeah, I like to keep it that way.
That's the first Jordan refractor from Topps Chrome, first year of Topps Chrome, 1996. That's a nice copy of that too.
Super minimal greening.
Yeah, the greening on these is normally such a problem, but that's actually a really nice looking copy of that card. Ricky Henderson on-card auto. Good grade on that too, 8 with a 10 auto. Love to see the Acuna market pick back up again. What's the pop on like signed cards of his? Do you know?
There's a good amount of them. It's just a matter of finding them like with a nice auto and then the card actually being centered.
Right.
There's a million authentic 10 autos, but
Are there?
yeah.
What's that one out of? 23? That's pretty cool. And a 10. What does something like that go for?
Like 30K.
30K. Gunner out of 10. Huh. That's pretty neat. That's a cool card. Oh, including a little vintage. Look at that. T206 Cobb. That's cool. Early Brady auto. That's neat. Jerry West. Cool patch there. Steph Curry. Giannis. What do we got here? Tiger. 101 Tiger auto.
That's like the
2005
best card in
Masters.
that set. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because it's like the logo of the set. There's a 101 for each tournament that he won from that set.
Huh.
At that time, it was like 80. And so there's the 4 best cards in the set are going to be his Masters wins. And so I've got 2 of them right now.
Why is this one more than this one?
Just because
Or
this
this
is
one more than that one?
that's like probably the best card in the set. Just because like it's the most iconic like Tiger photo maybe ever
Gotcha.
taken.
Okay.
That was just such a big
Yeah.
win
So
in
it's a photo difference.
So
PMG red is Scottie Pippen. That's cool. I don't own any red PMGs. That's not a bad one to have right there. That's pretty neat. Hey, what's up, Ryan?
I just ran from Starbucks in the rain because I got a call from a dealer that I know that a gentleman walked up.
Oh, no kidding.
He pulled it in 2018.
No kidding. Wow. That is a massive card. Otani rookie. Gold to 50. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Trust me, I don't run that often.
Wow.
But when it's Otani gold out of 50, I ran here.
Okay, so these were cards of mine that you were potentially interested in.
I don't know if you have values on mine on any of them, or if like this is the first time they've seen the light in a little bit. But.
Yeah, his market, the last sale of that was 12.5, I believe.
Yeah.
A few months ago, so obviously his market's been going up a little bit.
Yeah.
I was thinking like somewhere in the neighborhood of like 14 on that.
Okay.
I mean, these sell relatively routinely, I think for around 7 or so.
Yeah.
Something,
They're pretty consistent. Yeah.
something in that nature. That was a little over 2,000, I want to say. Last I looked it
I
up.
never looked that one up, but yeah.
Okay,
that sounds
something like that.
right, yeah.
What are these, like 8,000 or 9,000, I think? Something in that neighborhood.
Same thing. I didn't look that one.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
These two I'm a little reluctant to move, but the last one of these that sold, I want to say was a little north of 20.
Okay.
And then this one, I think, is sitting around 10 or so.
Okay.
Something of that nature.
Sure.
It's kind of where those are at, I believe. Is this an Ichiro rookie?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a
That's a big card, yeah. Wow. Out of 25, an Ichiro rookie card. Out of 25, card number 25 of 25. Woo. Yeah, these are the 5 cards of yours that I am probably most interested in here. So, have you considered grading that?
I haven't really taken a super close look at it, honestly. I got it on Golden like about 2 months ago.
Okay.
It went, what it felt pretty cheap. I bought it for like $7,600. I've been offered 55 cash. I'd be like 6 on that.
Okay.
It gets like 28 here. There's a PSA 6 comp, so it's just like a little over the PSA 6. This should be like right at like 2,500, and then like we just talked about with the 30.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so like yeah, I'll be reasonable with it.
So I'm hearing market movers looking up some of his cards just to kind of get a sense for the market. I found this Michael Jordan, 1996 Topps Chrome Refractor card. And if I hit this little down arrow in Market Movers, I can see what this card is selling for right now in all kinds of different grades. So I kind of get a sense of a wide spread of grade activity on these cards.
With a card like that, obviously there's going to be like a massive difference between like what
Yeah.
the copy actually looks like.
What worries me on this one a little bit is a BGS 7.5 just sold for 18.4.
There's a massive difference between PSA and Beckett slabs for BMGs.
Yeah.
Like there's numerous like BMGs that are actually like in Beckett holders that are like colored and like and trimmed and stuff. And so like there's a lot of people who only buy PSA for.
Yeah.
That's why you see such a big difference with the prices with any BMG, not just Pippin.
Right. Well, yeah, so I mean, I guess obviously you got a lot of cards out, I got a lot of cards out. So I mean, I guess the question is, which ones are we like trying to toss in here? I'll say probably the two that I'm probably most interested in. I really like the Ohtani Ichiro and I like the Jordan. Those two like probably stand out to me a little more. So depending on like what you were most interested in potentially, you know, if some combo made sense for those. I'm open to the other ones as well.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I maybe a little more nervous about the Mahomes out of all of them.
I get it.
Just because there's nothing that's moved on that recently. Yeah. And I know you just paid, I think you said like $7,600 or something for that on Golden. I wonder if there's any other Ohtani, Ichiro one-of-ones from other stuff that have sold recently. Yeah, there was like a PSA 8 Auto 9 of a different one.
That's the type of stuff that scares me about cracking it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where did it go for?
5,200. Yeah, they would have probably been better to leave that encased. Yeah, I see yours there.
Where'd you want to be on this?
Have there been any of those recently?
One just recently did 18, like 2 months ago.
Oh, 18?
Yeah.
Oh, that's back up quite a bit.
Right, so like there's the 10 and the 18, and those are the only two counts.
Okay. I'm happy with that sale.
Exactly, yeah.
It's been a bit.
I figured you would be.
Yeah. 18, then there was a 10.7, which was the last one I remembered.
Exactly.
But then the one before that was 17.3, so,
that was back in like 21, right?
23.
Oh, it was in 23?
Yeah, there was an eBay May of 23 for 17,300.
Yeah, at least we're both dealing with stuff that's not the easiest to comp.
Right. Okay, so price-wise on my cards here, where do you think you would want to be on each of these?
So 22.
Okay.
18 being the last comp. 8, 7,500. There's the comp at 12.5. It's a recent PSA 10 that did 17 and change. So I'd want to be at like 13, 13.5. I get why you want to be at 14. He's so hot, but just with that gap there, it's like if I call it like 13.5 and then 18.
So it looks like I found a comp in Market Movers on one of these at 9 in September 2024. So what if we did the Precious Metal Gems Pippin and the Jordan Refractor for the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the LeBron, and I'd throw in $500 in cash on top.
What were you putting those two at?
I was thinking this was in the neighborhood of like 26 and 6, so that's 32.
Sure.
And then if we went off 18 and then you wanted to be at 13.5, that's 31.5. So that's how I got to the $500 cash on top.
Okay.
I was going to offer it to you straight up, but I decided to be nice and offer $500 cash on top to make it a little more enticing.
Is there a world where the rest of the stuff gets involved or no?
Maybe. These 3 cards make me a little nervous. I love the Dynasty RPAs. It looks like a really clean copy. Gunner's having a little bit of an off season. So, I mean, I guess that's the only reason why he's I imagine his stuff, I haven't studied honestly his market, but I imagine he's batting .228, 3 home runs. I imagine his stuff's starting to cool off a little bit. So that has me a little worried about that one. This one, I was thinking originally, well, maybe I'll open that up and grade it, and whatever. But then I saw another version of this card from the same year of Transcendent that was graded, didn't grade very well. And then it sold for like what did I say it sold for, like 5,400 or something?
Something like that.
So like a couple grand less,
Sure.
2,500 less. So then that kind of made me a little more nervous about this one. And then this one, I like that card a lot. I'm just also a little nervous because lack of data, hasn't sold in the last few years. I think these two would be a little harder to move just because of a little more uncertainty. This would probably be a lot easier to move, but maybe in somewhat of a declining, market space. So I was a little worried about these, whereas these I think are all a little more liquid, I would say.
Sure.
I mean, I think if I was going to come in on the Transcendent, I would basically just want to pay what you paid for it. Like the 7,400 on Golden, I'd be okay at that. And then the Mahomes, I mean, where do you think you could be on the Mahomes? 28. Yeah, but in order to get the Mahomes into the deal and make that make sense, we've got to put like the Kobe in the deal, and I don't know that I want to trade that 2012 Kobe, which just like gets a lot of attention from everybody, for a Mahomes that's a little more difficult, like to comp out and that type of thing. If we were to do all of this for all of this, I think there's about a $5,500 difference.
Okay.
That's kind of where I'm at. So I'd want to make that up.
Were these significant differences for price gap? Like, what'd you put this guy in at?
I put this at 26.5, which I know is below where you want to be. That's what you said the guy got as terms of a cash offer on it. I'd be comfortable there, but I don't really want to go above that number. So that's what I put on that. I put 26,500 on that. I put 7,400 on this. I put, I think, 2,400 on that. I put 26,000 on that. And I put 6,000 on that. And that gets me to 68.3.
What do I work for those guys?
I totaled mine up at 73.8 is how I totaled it.
What were the differences from where I was at on them?
I think it was just that card.
Okay, what'd you put that one at?
24, and I think you had it at 22. I think everything else was the same. I did this at 18. I did that at 13.5. I did that at 7,500. I did that at 1,800. And I did that at 9,000 based on that last comp. And then I put that at 24,000.
If I get to your numbers over here, you couldn't get to like 22 on this one?
Maybe. How would you make up the difference in cash or cards?
Was there you didn't see anything else like in that range?
Maybe I could go back through it.
Range. Yeah, go ahead and see if you see anything. But I mean, also possible like if we were to like take out the Mahomes and add something else, that I can flip back through your cards.
Okay. I like the Acuna. Obviously, that doesn't bridge the gap, but it helps a little bit.
It's something. Yeah.
It's something. All right, so Tyler's offer was to pull the Mahomes, which I had valued at $9,000, out of the equation and replace it with this Juan Soto, which I was asking $6,000 on it. He offered $5,500 on it. So if I take the $5,500, that's about a $3,500 delta that we just kind of solved here, right?
Which is, it becomes exact at 68.3 on both sides.
It becomes exact if the Kobe's 22 instead of 24, right?
Yeah, putting the Kobe at 22 and then these at 26 and 26.5, which I think you're getting into that at 26. You're getting into it pretty good there.
Yeah. So your offer is you'll throw in the Acuna, but you want me to put 500 cash on top of all of that. How about 300 cash? 400 cash. That's a big deal, Tyler.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
That's a huge deal, man. That's awesome. And we traded some great players for some great players. I mean, there's great players going both directions in this trade deal. You got some incredible Kobe Bryant cards I hate to give up, and a LeBron James card that I hate to give up as well. But I got a Jordan, a Pippen, precious metal gems. I got a really cool Ohtani Ichiro. And then, we got Mahomes, we got Shea going each direction, Soto, Lamar, Acuna, Gunner. I mean, There's a lot of big cards there on both sides.
There's a lot of rings and MVPs.
There's a lot of rings and MVPs. I love the trade
It'll be
deal.
a fun one to count.
It's a pleasure, Tyler.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
As
How
always.
how can people reach out to you if they're interested in any of your other cards?
Hot Corner 1326 on Instagram.
There you go. Hot Corner 1326. Awesome, man. Good doing the trade deal with you.
Yep, appreciate it, man.
Wow, what a day at the Dallas Card Show. What a trade deal. I am still shaking with excitement from how awesome that trade deal was. And guys, by the way, I never would have been able to do that trade deal if I didn't have Market Movers on my phone. It was so helpful to be able to comp out all of those cards in real time. And I want you to get Market Movers too. I want you to get it for free. Just go to sportscardinvestor.com and click Market Movers in the main menu bar, or go to the App Store on your phone and download the Market Movers app right now. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you soon with our next episode. Take care.